समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. So we begin today on verse 11 and okay, last time we had so last time we had done that vimudha nanu pashyanti jnana chakshusha. So then we did that. How does one get that jnana chakshu? To see or to understand or to perceive or to realize even. See doesn't mean with the fleshy eyes, but perceive. Okay, so that we had done. Now this we do यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः. The seekers striving for perfection behold him dwelling in the self, but the unrefined and unintelligent, even though striving, see him not. See, this is the reason for the scriptures saying that the depth of philosophy is not for everybody. It is not that they are being partial, it is not that they are excluding certain people, but you see, there are all kinds of human beings. There are some with a very gross intellect. We know that, isn't it? There are some people very dull, there are some people very intelligent, there are some people very tamasic who are into low habits like a lot of sleeping, inertia, procrastination, and lethargy. So, such people cannot leave aside this knowledge. They are not capable of understanding any knowledge. We know that, isn't it? Even in a single class, there are students who are very bright and there are students who are very dull. So the teacher who's teaching has to find a level where they will all understand. And the teacher sometimes strikes a level where the very intelligent ones get bored, because if she teaches at the level of those who are dull, then the dull ones keep on trying to get a repetition and they don't understand. The teacher can see that, so she repeats. The intelligent ones get bored. If she teaches at the intelligent level, then the dullards don't understand and they don't get it. So it's a challenging job. So that is why the scriptures say that those who have not attained an integration of the mind and intellect, or the purity of the intellect, they should not indulge in this kind of study. See, the seekers striving for perfection behold him dwelling in the self. So they are the ones who can behold. Behold means they can perceive, not with the fleshy eyes. You cannot see that with the fleshy eyes. Eyes are gross. That is very subtle. The truth is very, very subtle. So the realization of the truth can be done by seekers who are striving for perfection, but the unrefined and unintelligent. When he says unrefined and unintelligent, what does he mean? He means those people who do not put in much of effort. They do not attempt to integrate their mind and intellect or to make their mind pure. Huh. Now, see, even people taught by a big master, I know a lot of them. See, we used to all go to listen to Swami Chinmayananda, but how many of them grasped it equally well? They did not. So many who are intellectually very bright, they become gurus. बड़ी जल्दी बनते हैं. They become teachers. They tell others, and those others may progress, but they themselves never reach. They don't reach anywhere. वो बस, they are like Gurudev used to call them tape recorder swamis. Now those tape recorder swamis, sometimes I feel even I am one of them. But then those tape recorder swamis will give to you exactly what the grand master taught. But they themselves have not risen, because the example that Gurudev gave was that if a bird cannot fly if one wing is broken, and wing is hanging down and touching the earth, that means it is so grounded on the level below. Where can it fly? How can the bird take off? So the seeker is compared to that such a bird can never fly unless you detach from the lower. Very clearly, I am repeating, unless you detach from the lower, things that agitate your mind, things that are all the time making your mind turbulent, you can never, never rise. And Gurudev used to say that the only way to prepare the mind for this knowledge is the verse 5 in this very chapter. You know the verse 5, Nirmana Moha Jita Sanga Dosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kama, that verse. Hmm? So Gurudev used to say that is a must. You have to do all those things. They are the preparation for, they are the qualification for you to sit in a class of the 15th chapter. Otherwise, you should not even attempt it. But somehow, it doesn't matter, we are attempting it. So the fascination of the world must die off before you can progress. And वो तो वही, the same example as I give always about the ladder, that unless you lift your foot from the lower, you cannot put it on the higher. It's very important. You have got to detach from there. Hmm. Now, acha, he says that those who are successful are the ones who have fully integrated their mind and intellect. Now, you see what happens to people like us in the world that we are living today. The media means newspapers, magazines, TV, laptop, whatever you have, Instagram and Twitter and whatever else, Facebook, all that. So they constantly drum up fashion, okay, food, hmm, fame, money, wealth, power, all these things. Now, when you chase after these things, because the media is telling you that those things are great and they are something great to achieve, all your energies go into achieving those. There are many competitors you find who are also trying to achieve those, and therefore your mind is in constant turmoil. तो विक्षेप होता है मन में. The word is विक्षेप, and विक्षेप की वजह से आवरण. Avran means the covering, so you cannot see, you cannot perceive, you cannot uh, realize the truth. You see, now here the purification of the mind and intellect is extremely important. So tuning up correctly. Now the thing is, how does one tune up? How does one uh, remove that veil of ignorance? That is by the fifth verse. Nirmana Moha Jita Sanga Dosha. Moh, Sang, these two are the biggest enemies, and they create their cousins. Their cousins are Krodh, Moh, Lobh, Matsarya. All these are the cousins of Kam. So you must win over that. It is very, very important. And also, Gurudev used to say that it is not all gyan. Unless your mind is full with gratefulness for the Lord, for the love of the Lord, because you understand that without Him you cannot stand at all. You can do nothing. You cannot even digest your food, believe me, if it is not with the power of the Lord. So, if you understand that, then automatically you feel gratefulness, you feel bhakti. जब तक भक्ति नहीं होगी, you will not rise. ठीक है? It's very, very important. See, even if an insult has the power to take away your equipoise, even carefully, even if an insult by somebody has the power to disturb you, to irritate you, agitate you, and take away your equipoise, it means that you are still attached to man and moha. Man is pride and moha. So you've got to free yourself of that, to realize that even if someone is insulting, who is he to insult you? A. Secondly, who are you to take the insult? And after a few years, the in person who is insulting and the one who is insulted are both wiped off the surface of this globe. Okay? So understand that. Now, if you cannot control your mind, then divine possibilities cannot unfold ever for you. Acha, then here, now I'm talking of the next verse. Huh? Please understand. Next verse में क्या है? See, Gurudev writes in the following four stanzas. After this verse, the next four stanzas. What are they? They are only describing the immanence of the supreme power, the supreme truth, the all-pervading, powerful reality, which alone is the power. What is it? A, he says, as an all illumining light of consciousness. B, as the all sustaining life. C, as the subjective warmth of life. Warmth of life, जानते हैं? Gurudev used to say, when a person dies, what do you say? ठंडा हो गया. कहते हो ना? ठंडा हो गया. That means the warmth in his body that was being created by this super consciousness is not charging that body anymore, because not that the consciousness has disappeared from there, the body has become incapable of reflecting that light. जैसे bulb fuse होता है, electricity has not gone anywhere, electricity is there, but if the bulb is fused, electricity is not able to express itself through that bulb. And D, as the self in all the hearts is being described. That is the power that moves everything, whether insects, animal, beast, microbes, human beings, fish, birds, whatever there is, plants, wherever there is life, or even where there is not life, it is only him, and him that has created everything. Okay, so understand that. See, and that cannot be illumined. That illumines everything, but that you cannot illumine. Like, for instance, the sun. Can you illumine the sun? कि आप कहते हैं लाओ टॉर्च लाओ देखें सूरज है कि नहीं? No, you can't. It is self-effulgent, right? Similarly, this also is self-effulgent. And so you see, he says that once having reached there means once having realized the reality, nobody can non-realize it. देखो, एक बार आपको पता चल जाती है कोई एक चीज, do you ever forget it? It stays in your mind, isn't it? It always stays in your mind. Similarly, once you have seen something with your own eyes, you have perceived something as real, you will never get back. Like a waker can never get back into the dreamer and believe what the dreamer used to believe. It cannot. So, huh, okay, now let's do the next verse. यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्विमामकम्. Here it says, that light which is residing in the sun and which illumines the whole world, and that which is in the moon and in the fire, know that light to be mine. This is a similar verse as you have what you sing, वो दो तीन उपनिषद में है, न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम, you know it all, nema vidyato bhanti kutoyam agni. It is saying the same thing. Huh? Tamev bhantam anubhati sarvam. With your light, the whole world is lit up. Tamev bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That with your light, all lights shine. This verse is saying the same thing. And the Lord says, know that light to be mine. देखो, now I am talking about modern science. देखो, गुरुदेव का example आपको बता रही हूँ, that when we see a car, okay, physics tells us that we are not seeing the car, but only the light that is bouncing off the shape of the car. Physics is telling us, that is science, that you do not see the shape of the car, you only see the light that is bouncing off the shape of the car. Yet the seer of light never recognizes it as seeing light. You don't say I see light, you see what? You say that I see a car. ये होता है या नहीं? For every object it is the same thing. I've just taken the example of a car, but it is the same thing for every object, that you only see objects in reflected light. That is a law of science. Now ये देखो, that see, where did the sun come from? अब लोग कहते हैं भाई सनलाइट में सब दिखता है, सनलाइट नहीं तो मूनलाइट में दिखता है, नहीं तो फायर में दिखता है, हाँ, और नहीं तो nowadays electricity, artificially created light. So these are the four sources of light that you have. Okay, now the question is that you ask that अच्छा, if the sunlight में दिखता है, and you have grown up hearing that your earth was a part of the sun and then it broke from there and it split, and then it took years and years to cool off, and after it cooled off then vegetation grew, this grew, that grew. वो story सबने सुनी हुई है in your science class, isn't it? So then you ask, okay, fine, that is from where our earth came. Where did the sun come from? Any intelligent student is going to ask, who created the sun? And the teacher of science, as Gurudev used to say, becomes uncomfortable. They squirm in their shoes, they don't know what to say, and they say, बस आई कहीं से, कहाँ से आई भैया? And not only the sun, from where did the moon come? Anybody? No. So from where did everything, ऐसे तो think of anything and everything. Where did it come from? Where do all the qualities that that thing has, the inherent nutrition, the inherent anything, where does it come from? Now, dekho, again, it is just this, that to understand where, why, and what for, because any intelligent student is going to ask how, what, why. These are the three questions that any scientific mind is going to ask, and they should ask. But there is no answer in science. They call it by the unintelligent name of involuntary action. If you ask them, how does your heart beat? It just beats. Involuntary action. Why do you sneeze? Why do you yawn? You do not want to also. है ना? What will everybody else think in the meeting? That this man is sleepy, he is yawning. You don't want to yawn, and yet you can't help it. Sneeze, cough, all kind of things. And even breathing, try to stop it. It happens on its own. Excretory systems happen on their own. So the any intelligent scientific student is going to ask that how does this happen? If you are an honest scientific inquirer, you are going to ask these questions that how does it happen? Okay? Now the thing is that uh, Gurudev used to say that to rise in spirituality, to find the answers for these, they are not written anywhere. There is no answer like that. But you gauge at the answer. You get to know the answer if your mind is pure. So then he used to say that you have to guard your mind. सबसे बड़ी बात है to get these answers, you have to guard your mind, protect your mind from all polluting things, even company, bad company. They will try and confuse you. They will try and tell you that you are stupid. They will try and tell you that none of this is there. Have you seen God? There is no God. Those kind of things. So they don't think beyond a thing. We have to get at the ultimate source of things, not the things themselves. Science can only study what is before it, what it can see, hear, smell, taste, feel, isn't it? But what is beyond the scientific data, how do you get at that? So for that, you have to uh, guard your mind. You have to purify your mind, and that is what all the sadhanas are aimed at. कितनी difficult साधना लोग करते हैं to purify their mind. Okay. Now see, even the light of the sun, where who has empowered the sun, who has put the light there, who has made the sun stand there in the sky, the moon, the light emerging from the moon also. See, when he says over here that I am even the light of the moon and the fire, they are all expressions of that great superpower, that infinite reality that illumines all, that illumines everything. And so, what about all the variety? The sun, moon, the stars, the wind, the vegetation, the human beings, the insects, I mean, the variety, amazing variety. Even see the vegetation, the plants, the flowers, the fruits, the grain, the this, the that. How much of variety in terms of look, in terms of color, fragrance, nutrition, juice, everything. From where does it come? Not created by you and me, never created by you and me. Yeah. So the same energy, the same reality. I'll give you the example of electricity. The same electricity becomes light in the bulb, becomes movement in the fan, becomes a cooling source in the AC and in the fridge, isn't it? Becomes hot in the geyser, causes heat in the geyser and in the heaters that you put in your house in the winters, doesn't it? It it does so many things. Without, I mean, if you look at electricity, electricity is one and the same. The movement or the performance belongs to the equipment through which it passes. Similarly, this great grand reality, this light that you say, this illumining power, this entire power, this is nothing else but energizing not only everything in the world, you also. The light in the eye, your eye, huh, recognizes light. Okay? Okay. Don't you even see darkness? Think. You also see darkness. Don't you say, if you enter a pitch dark room, you say, I see darkness. I see that it is totally dark. How do you see darkness? What is that light of lights that is causing you to see darkness? Think about it. Think about it. Hmm? So it is not, even in the absence of light, you see, in the light you see, even in the absence of light or dark or what, even then you see your dreams. Think about it. You say na, in the morning, I saw a dream. How did you see? You were fast asleep, your eyes were closed, you were in deep slumber, you didn't know even your name or whether you are a man or a woman, you didn't know. How did you see a dream? Think about it. There must be some great grand power ticking inside you that makes you see even a dream. Socho, socho. Hmm? So this is, you have to. So if you are intelligent enough, if you are honest enough with your inquiry, you will say the same thing, that that light being the same, we still make it into an objective sun, moon, fire, stars. The seer and the seen are both light. Carefully. The seer and the seen are both light. Whose light? The light of that supreme power. Hmm? So the infinite manifests in different ways, depending upon the equipment, depending on the environment, depending on this, that, and the other, it will act. Okay, now come to the verse 13. गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधि सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः. Permeating the earth, I support all beings by my energy. And having become the juicy moon, I nourish all herbs. देखो, having become the juicy moon, look at the word used, हाँ, सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः. रस तो जानते हैं ना आप लोग, हाँ. तो they believe that the juice and everything is created by the moon, and a lot of things, देखो, uh, old Ayurveda, old agricultural science, they all believe that the sun and the moon are both important for agriculture. Ancient Indian farming, I don't know about the West, but here they used to first dry the seeds in the sun, and then they used to expose them to moonlight for some nights and then store the seeds for the next sowing, because the seeds have to get nutrition from the moon and the sun. Similarly, a lot of Ayurvedic medicines are made in moonlight and sunlight separately. A lot of naturopaths believe in the power of even water in a colored bottle, where the sun passing through the rays of a colored glass bottle energizes the water and makes it medicinal. एंड दे टेल यू कि आप ग्रीन बॉटल में रखिए पानी बाहर, रेड बॉटल में रखिए, कभी कुछ कहते हैं, कभी कुछ कहते, डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर डिजीज. एंड दैट इज, कैन यू इमेजिन द level of research that had gone into it, the level of thinking that had gone into it? Modern allopathic science has to still figure out these things. how is it that the sun and the moon nourish medicines, give potency to medicines, huh? Put juice and nutrition in seeds, all that. So just think about it. It's not just all this was practiced in India. It still is practiced in India in the villages. Now we all know, even the West knows, that it is the sun that makes the soil fertile. Ye dekho, he's saying permeating the earth. That means going into the earth. He says that I support all beings by my energy. Unless the sun goes 9 inches deep into the soil is not fertilized. Those of you who know a bit of agriculture or understand planting and farming and all that, they all know that the sunlight has to permeate the earth 9 inches down tak, till the soil is fertilized or the soil becomes ready to bear fruit or to raise a plant. ठीक है ना? So thus whatever is sown or grown or harvested is all him. Why does he say that? Did you make the seed? No. Did you make the earth? No. Did you create water? No. Did you create sunlight? No. Did you create the moonlight? Or did you create the wind? Nothing. Nothing. So think about it, that all these things grow and all you do is put the seed in the ground and then harvest it. Isn't it? Isn't it? Even to put the seed in the ground and to harvest it or to water it, from where do you get the energy? He gives you the energy even to water the plant, even to sow the seed. You cannot do it if he withdraws his grace from your body. Isn't it? Think about it. It's a very, very important thing to think about. Huh? Any soil that has not seen the sun at all cannot germinate any seed. So he says that I support all beings by my energy permeating the earth, and having become the juicy moon, I nourish all herbs, all medicines, all plants. देखो, औषधि, plants are called aushadhi in Sanskrit because all medicines were plant based. All the source of all medicines was plant based, not chemical based initially. And that is why vanaspati is known as aushadhi in Sanskrit. So he uses the word aushadhi over here. He says that I am the aushadhi. The herbs are the aushadhi. Do you know that Ramcharit Manas mein, when Lakshmanji was lying unconscious, what was brought for him? Some pill from a local medicine store? No. What was brought for him? Some jadi booty from the Himalayan heights, mountains, was brought by Hanuman ji. जो वैद्य था उसने क्या कहा था? फलाने माउंटेन पे जाओ, somewhere in the tarai of Himalayas, bring that jadi booty for me and I will give it to Lakshman and revive him. Isn't it? So life-giving power, curative powers are a lot found in herbs that have been empowered, energized by the sun, the moon, the wind, all the rest, that you have the earth, the water. And all these things are created by him. So he is the energizing thing over here. Now, the same eternal consciousness, when it functions through the moon, it becomes moonlight and fills each plant with rasa. That is why he says, Somo Bhutva Rasatmaka. Som is the moon. So the thing is that the moon rays has a different effect on plants. Sunlight has a different effect on plants. And he says देखो यहाँ पर गुरुदेव said something so beautifully. He used to tell us that all of you, nothing you can do without him. Every action that is even called involuntary action, आप खाना खाते हैं, ठीक है ना? The masticating, चलो you say कि जी वो तो मैं करता हूँ, all right. Then he used to say the movement of swallowing. And Gurudev used to say, he nicely closes your windpipe so that the food that the fool has swallowed does not go into the windpipe. So he closes the windpipe, and then through a through an action, which it's a wavy kind of an action that happens from down here, I don't know the technical names, right down to your stomach, to push the food down. Even that you can't do. You masticate it and swallow, वो यहीं अटक के रह जाएगा if the involuntary action does not take place and pushes the food right down to your stomach. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Hmm? And so that you don't choke, he closes the windpipe before that food goes down. You don't close the windpipe, है ना? अच्छा. So then all this. So see, all this, he has created the seasons. Gurudev writes, he has created the seasons for different kind of grain to be sown. You cannot sow the same grain in any season. Rice is sowed in the rainy season. Wheat is sowed in a different season. Dals and all are sowed in different seasons. Corn is sown in a different season. So all that, the sugar cane, this, that, everything has a season. And who determines the seasons? He. The movements of the sun and moon, you don't determine. You don't determine the movements of the sun and moon, which ultimately so. So these sources of energy, all the sources of energy that you see in the world are done by him. And see, people say that, how can the Lord say that he does this with the sun and that with the moon, and it all happens automatically? Nothing in the world can happen automatically, believe me. It is a scientific law that unless something is pushed, there is a force behind every movement. There is no effect without a cause. So, who is the cause? Think about it. Who is the cause? It is not you and I. Oh, yes, no, sir. It is not you and I. The cause is something totally different. And the cause is the effect. So, Gurudev used to say that shamelessly you still say that how can I be the Lord? The Lord is something else, I am something else. He permeates every cell of your body. He has created every cell of your body. He energizes every cell with life potential. Every blood cell is energized by him. The movement of the circulatory system, the digestive system, the the prana and apana. You know the two terms? Prana means the breath which you take in, which energizes all the systems. And then apana is the excretory systems. Even when you don't want to throw out filth from your body, can you stop it? Anybody? Can you stop it? You cannot, isn't it? There's this famous joke that what is the similarity between a grave and the loo? It is when you have to go, you have to go. Period. So neither you have control on your death or birth, nor you have control over your even your breathing or your excretory system or your digestive system or any system. Circulatory system in the blood. Do you move your blood? Do you pump your heart to keep beating even while you are deep sleep? No. Think about it. Think about it. So any scientific mind is going to ask, what is that force? How does that do it? From where does it come? What does it look like? Is it tangible? Can I perceive it? Can I know it? How do I get to know it? Isn't that what you would like to know? If you are deeply scientific, honestly scientific, you will say, yes, I want to know. Ask any doctor, and he will give you all these answers saying involuntary action. This is an unintelligent phrase. How can action be involuntary? Does your science say that? Hmm. Okay, this table will start moving on its own. Involuntary action. No, 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 no. Doesn't happen. It is an unintelligent phrase. And modern physiology uses it to explain that which they cannot explain. Yes. Who moves it? The pulse beat, the heartbeat, the circulation in the body. Who? The functions of the liver, the functions of the kidney, the functions of the pancreas, the function of all in your body, each energy cell in your body. How does it have that energy and who moves it? Think about it. I repeat and I repeat and I again and again repeat, because I want, Gurudev used to repeat this many, many times, that इस पे मनन करो, and you will get the answer that there is a super intelligence who does it beautifully well. You can't think that after birth I am in charge of my life. And those silly songs like it's my life, it's my life. Kya your life? When you were born, your mother used to even clean you up. You were not even able to clean yourself. Your mother bathed you. Your father cradled you. Your all that. When was it? उस वक्त बोलते ना, it's my life, it's my life. No. Who made you inside the mother's womb? If it was your life, did you could you make yourself into an Einstein if you wanted? Could you make yourself into a polar bear? No, no, I want to be a polar bear. I don't want to be a human. No. So understand that there is a super intelligence, and everything Gurudev used to say is Narayana. Everything at all, the body, and understand that this whole flesh and blood and bones ka jo skeleton hai, this is a temple of Narayana. He resides inside you. You can see his working. You may not see him, but you can see his working. So keep it clean, neat, tidy. Keep this body holy. Keep your mind pure, because it is the temple of the Lord. Don't put filth into your mind. Don't allow any kama, krodha, moha, mad, matsar at all to enter your mind. No negative thoughts to come into your mind. Just be pure, simple, and truthful, and dedicate your entire life to the work of that Lord for which He has sent you, instead of indulging in horrible things. Now we stop here. The next time we will do verse 14. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.